Hi, today we will be talking about lines, number lines, and tally marks. Let's get started. So, a quick definition, geometry is the study of shapes. So, let's dive into geometry. So, one of the first things you learn in geometry is the point. The point has no dimensions, but we denote it as a dot. Okay? The line is different from what we usually think of it as. It actually extends to infinity. It is 1D, so it's one dimension, and it has no endpoints. So if I couldn't even draw a line, it'd just keep going and going and going. And we denote that going and going and going by this arrow marks on both sides. Now a line segment is what we think of a line in day-to-day words. It's just this little part of the line. It's a part of a line, and it has two endpoints because it ends, right? So when someone says draw a line, you usually draw something like this. So that's actually a line segment. Now a ray is like a half line. It has one endpoint, so it's like a hybrid between, or like a cross or mix between the line segment and the line. So it has one endpoint, but one side of it extends to infinity. So for line, there's three ways to categorize lines, line segments, and rays. First is the horizontal way. So I like to remember that as horizon. The horizon looks like this, so it's horizontal. Vertical is kind of like the opposite of horizontal. It looks like your vertebrae, right? It's straight up and down. Horizontal is like left to right kind of thing. And oblique is anything that's not horizontal or vertical. So oblique, for example, could look like this. It could look like this. It's just anything that's not horizontal or vertical. Alright, now let's talk about number lines. So in the number line, this is the tick marks, right? These little dashes are tick marks. The distance between 0 and 1 is called a unit segment, so these are unit segments. The left side of the number line are negative numbers. And the whole number line consists of integers, which are counting numbers, negative numbers, and 0. So here are your negative numbers, here are your counting numbers, and here's 0. So it's all three of them added together. Okay? Now, the point of a number line is to show the distance from 0. So let's do an example with -3. So I'm going to draw a quick number line. So here's 0, here's 1, here's 2, here's 3, here's -1, here's -2, and here's -3. So we want to show the distance from 0 to -3. So here's 1, here's 2, here's 3. So the distance from 0, so the distance from -3 to 0 is 3 unit segments. Okay? Now we're asked to find the unit segments from -1 to 5. So let's draw a number line. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we have -1, -2, -3, and so on. So from -1 to 5 we have, let me do this in a different color, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 unit segments from -1 to 5. So now let's talk about tally marks. So this is the way we represent numbers using tally marks. So 1 is just one line. 2 is just 2 lines. 3 is just 3 lines. 4 is just 4 lines. But in 5, it's 4 lines and this diagonal line. And 6 is just this 5 plus a 1. So it's basically a way of bundling numbers by 5. Let's do an example. So we are supposed to find then what this number, like what these tally marks represent. Okay. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 bundles of 5, right? So 4 times 5, and then I have 3 left over plus 3. Well, 4 times 5 is 20, so I have 20 plus 3, so this is equal to 23. Now, let's try to write 12 in tally marks, okay? So 12, let's just count it out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this is how we'd write 12 in tally mark form. Okay, so I hope that helped, and I hope to see you soon.